Got a number of projects to do on this truck here today. One of which is going to be probably one of the easier ones is the locking fuel cap on the other side doesn't work. So first thing I'm going to do is show how this one works on the side that does work. When the key is in there, of course you can turn it, and what's happening when you turn that is this wedge shape, or this cam, right now it's unlocked. No, actually this is unlocked because the key only comes out when it's locked. The key comes out now. So that's how it's supposed to work. Good thing is there's a screw. We can take that thing out because we're not going to fix it. These cost way too much money. So we're going to go to the other side where we're having a problem. Unfortunately, I got to use a jack to hold this body work up out of the way because the straps on the tank that hold this thing up are broken, and that's a common problem on these old FLDs. But it costs a lot of money to fix it, and don't know if the owner is ever going to do that or not. He might someday. Here's what I'm running into on this one. I'm not a locksmith, but I do know how a lock works and what's going on inside there. When I put the key in there, I feel no resistance at all moving the pins. In case you don't know, what the pins are actually little pins that sit on top of each one of these little bumps on the key, and there's a little spring behind them, and each one has a different size, and so they have to, when the key is in there, all of those pins are at the same height on the back side of them, and now the little cylinder that it is in is able to rotate. That's another story, but it's not happening here. The pins are raised up out of the way where they can't, where the barrel of the cylinder can't rotate. And so what I'm going to do, just to try it, I'm going to tap on this with the key in there. And hopefully those pins will shake loose and drop down into their place. I don't feel it doing that. I still don't feel any resistance. So if that's not going to happen, then more than likely my next step is to just pull the cylinder out of there. Yeah, I don't feel any resistance to those pins at all. So they're, for whatever reason, they're stuck. And that's why this won't rotate. So I'm going to go on ahead and yank this barrel out of that cylinder. My first try is going to be with a slide hammer. And I stuck a different kind of bolt in here than the one it's supposed to be for body work. This is the one it comes with for doing body work. It's just a soft steel screw that's rusty because it hasn't been used in many, many years. But I'm going to stick a self-tapping sheet metal screw in here instead. And I'm going to try screwing it on here, make sure this thing is going to accept it. I'll get that part worked out. I'm just going to go on ahead and drill this screw in there with this impact driver. Hopefully that'll stay in there tight enough. Got messed up threads on that nut. I gotta go get something. Okay, we got that tightened up on there. Now let's see if this will work. Well, we pulled the lock out of it, or part of it, but it came out in pieces. That's not what I was hoping to find. I was picking around in here, got some loose pieces out. It doesn't have pins, it's got these other things. I forgot what they're called. I did read a book on locks, but I don't remember the names of it because I don't normally work on locks. I just like knowing how things work. Anyway, I was picking some of these pieces out of there and got enough of them out that it turned enough that we were able to just go on ahead and turn this, get it off of there. So now I just got to take this thing off. And then fill in the hole with something so that water doesn't get in there. Just use this like a regular cap. To give myself room to work here, I'm going to get this thing out of here, and I'm going to do that by sticking a magnet on one end of it. Getting it out like that. And then I'm going to go on ahead and do what I got to do on this to get this piece out of here, this screw, and get this hole filled in with something. Got all these lock pieces out. It's just a screw basically. Stuck a number 3 Phillips screwdriver in that, and it just turned right out pretty easily. I'm going to clean this out with air, and then here's the lock cylinder. And then I'll just get a nut, bolt, and washer and put right through that and bolt this thing back on so that it has this keeper so that he doesn't drive away from a fuel pump forgetting to put his fuel cap back on and lose it. I ran into a little bit of a snag while I was tightening the nut down on this screw. The nut is just slightly bigger than the circle in this thing. So what I'm going to do, I don't have a tripod in here on the garage floor with me, so I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to squeeze this thing with the pliers and change the shape of it so that the nut won't go down around it. It's going to be hard to get a washer on it. I can, I suppose, if I take and grind a washer down on one side, because there's just not going to be room for a regular washer to go on there with this piece sticking up like that. There, I squeezed that with the pliers, and let's see if that still fits on there good. and then going ahead, and I need 2 hands to put it together. Okay, got that on there nice and snug, and now all I got to do is put some silicone glue. I'm going to spray some brake cleaner on this and get that clean and dry. Blow some air on it, and then do that once or twice. Then put some silicone glue in around this hole to help keep water from getting in there. And then we'll be done with that. Got this one done. All we gotta do now is just drop this thing in there. The glue is still wet, so I'm not going to touch the glue, but here we go. Thanks for watching.